We're having a book sale this morning, so good morning again, so bye. Anyhow, my name is Gene Langille, and I want to welcome you to the morning service of the Golden Gates Center for Spiritual Living, so welcome. Okay, a little business thing. If you have one of those devices in your possession that makes noises or talks to you or clamors for your attention, please silence it. Okay, thank you. I think now I'll just quickly say hello to your friends, give them a warm welcome so they know they are. Okay. Maybe I should just
itself.
I think on that note, Bodhi is telling us that he is ready for us to join him in the chant. So, Bodhi,
all right,
the chant.
So I'm going to say a little something because we're not doing a chant this morning. For the first time in a decade, we're doing a hymn. Yeah, we're doing a hymn, and Bodhi and I thought you better set them up for this. This will all become clear to you as we move through the service today. This is a fabulous song. And so...
Would you all please rise?
Would you all please rise? Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, beloved God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, beloved God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When through the woods and forest glades I wander and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees, when I look down from lofty mountain grandeur and see the brook and feel the gentle breeze, then sings my soul, beloved God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, beloved God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art. You may be seated. And if you would join me in prayer, taking that celebration that celebration of grandeur and turning within, acknowledging that the beloved God is none other than the author of the entire universe. And as this hymn reminds me, everything I see was made by the hands of God. And so that necessarily includes me. I was made. My soul was fashioned. My body was built. The thoughts in my mind are given to me by the mind of God. There is nothing about me that does not reflect the grandeur of God. And if this is true for me, and it is true for each person here. I know that each one reflects the glory of the infinite presence. The author of the universe is the creator of the one sitting next to you, the one behind and the one in front. And all of those people that we see on the television that confound us, all and each made by the hands of God. And so it is that I settle into this pattern of holiness, surrounded by beings of holiness, in a sacred life, on a pathway that holds nothing but the forms of God. And so I give my thanks for this. I give my thanks for this realization. And as I place this prayer into that one divine law, I know that this realization increases in my awareness and in everyone else who gives their agreement. And so I release, I surrender, and declare it to be so. And so it is. Amen. Oh my gosh, I just am amazed to lose it at the beginning of service. And so I'm so glad. You guys, you missed a hymn this morning. It was so great. Not to, make you feel bad, but because the next thing we have is a precious gift. Amitabhan is here, and this holy man sings songs for New Thought churches and for yoga studios and for spiritual teachers and for retreats around the world. And if it isn't around the world yet, it's going to be. And he has a new CD right around the corner here. He's been here several times. We love him. Please welcome Amitabhan.
And I'm hoping you all join me in voting on this one, at least on the chorus. I'll tell you the words. One verse, one song, one light shines, one people, one truth, one love divine. Kind of almost too long, but you'll hear it a few times. So by the last chorus, if you want to join in with us, I hope you'll present it. Something is building, I can hear the moments of, it's the sound of change, the sound of things to come, it's building. just behind the towers. Sing and remember what this life's all about. Only you know the part that is written within your heart. One verse, one song, one night shines, one people. Thank you. One truth, one love divine. We are one world choir, lift the vibration higher. Heart is wide as the sky, all of our song and heal. So send it out with love. So if it comes around again, one verse, one song, one light shines, one people, one truth, one love divine. Can we do that clapping again? We come from the light, and that's where we go. One family, here to learn and grow. Here's the gift for you, that is your melody, and a song called life, one great symphony. It's time to sing more than is written within our heart. One verse, one song, one light shine, one people, one truth, one light divine. One word, one song, one light shine, one people, one truth, one love divine. One love divine. One love divine. One love
Not today.
Amik Taban!
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Posi Lyon. I'm your practitioner of the morning. And it is so lovely to look out and see your beloved faces. And this morning, for our gratitude, anyone who's learned spiritual mind treatment knows that we give thanks in advance for something already done. And this morning, Reverend Karyl gave an incredible prayer earlier to call forth the rain. So let's take a moment and within your heart call in that rain and give great gratitude for all the ways God moistens, brings the water, brings the rain, gives life to this glorious planet. So that's what I'm grateful for this morning. And the children are going off to teach their teachers that we are all one, to remind them of that truth of our oneness. So we bless them as they go off to teach their teachers. Thank you for being here. Oh, and we are such a happening community. Announcements. So, It's probably obvious we're having a used book sale, and it is all the proceeds go to our youth church. So please buy, and take those home, give them away, and serve our wonderful children. We also are starting the home book study. It's a year-long, once a month, and the sign-ups are over here, so make sure that you sign up to join one of the groups. And if you are a host, please make sure to communicate with your people so there's clarity as to when the first book study starts. Curriculum is finished for the first one. Also, if you've been waiting to become a new member of this community, the new member orientation is today at 12:30 at the Learning Center. Where are directions? They're on the table, and also the address is in your bulletin, and so it's 12:30. Also in the bulletin it says that the new member party on Friday starts at 6. It actually starts at 7. However, if you are bringing food, please bring it by 6 o'clock. And that's at Sue Ruda's house, and there's more information there, and there will be information at the Learning Center today. And my favorite part, classes. So Reverend Karyl's going to talk about her classes a little later. I am teaching a brand new 4-week class called Become the Oscar-Winning Director of Your Own Life, and it really ties in with our year of yes. It's about letting go of the old stories that have locked us into not directing our lives where we want them to go. And we are the choosers. So if you'd like to learn how to become a more conscious chooser and direct your life towards your dreams, please come talk to me after service. And Marilyn is going to talk about her class, Self-Mastery.
Thank you. This class, Self-Mastery, is about putting the master self, the true master self within each one of us in charge of our lives and acting from that true inner voice. Ernest Holmes says that at the core of each one of us, we are whole and perfect and complete and have never been hurt. And as that beautiful song we heard this morning said, only you know what is written on your heart. Yet, as we go through life, we kind of learn, many of us learn not to listen to what's going on inside because we're taught not to trust that. We learn, oh, you'd better do what people expect you to do. You'd better live up to what we think somebody else, wants us to do. Or we have to listen to necessity, or we get banged around by our fears. This class is about, there's a brand new curriculum, reorganized curriculum that is a system of systematic self-inquiry so that we choose what we can read our inner self, listen to our inner self, rediscover, learn more about what's really going on, what we came here to be, and live the life that we came here to live. There's a system of systematic self-inquiry, including Byron Katie's work, and reading The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. We explore death, we explore our fears, we explore, of course, the divinity that's within us, and learn to put that master self in charge of our lives so that we're living from the inside, taking our messages, taking our operating instructions from the inside rather than the out. This is a 9-week course. It's a certificated course, which means that it will apply to practitioner credit if you are interested in becoming a practitioner. And it requires that you have taken one of the foundations courses or Beyond Limits. So if you want to find out more about that, read your bulletin. I'll be over here at the table after service. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. We also, the Aquarian birthday party is going to be January 31st. All are welcome to celebrate the water bearers. And please bring some food to share for a fun evening. And now I'm going to turn her mic back over to Reverend Karyl. And so let's huge round of applause for our beautiful, lovely, powerful senior minister goddess, Reverend Karyl.
Thank you. Thank you. I do have a couple of announcements of my own. On February 1st, I'm doing an event called Making Heaven on Earth. Your worldview is your world. It's going to be right here. It's going to be on the order of solstice in its dramatic flair. There's going to be fire and magic and presents and food, and I'm going to be playing the harp along with my teacher. And we're going to, you have never seen anything like this in your life before. So I want you to come. Tickets are on sale today. I also have put this up on our Facebook, on the GGCSL Facebook page. If you could share it with your people, that would be really great, because this topic, everyone will love it. I just know. And Bodie's going to be there. He's going to play many or some of his instruments. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And it's right on my learning edge. The message is my learning edge. So I'm excited. And then I want to say a little something about the two classes that I'm teaching, because both are still open. They're both about financial well-being. The Principles of Financial Freedom on Wednesday day is open, but only for one more week. And Prosperity Plus on Thursday evening is still open, and Bodie would like to say something about that. He's taking it for the second time.
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, Prosperity Plus. How many people have taken Prosperity Plus? I would really like to encourage you, entice you, cajole you, invite you to take it. Prosperity Plus is one of the most powerful classes that supports you and our community. It's an amazing win-win. If you think about the idea of tithing, that your 90% grows to be vastly larger than the 100% you knew before.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, when I started tithing, my life changed dramatically. A lot smoother and a lot more relaxed. And it's the flow. It's priming the pump of giving and receiving. And so I wanted to just say one thing we came up in the class is a chance to step outside of our normal patterns. Try something different. So I really want to encourage you to think about taking this class. It's amazing, transformational, and you will have a lot of fun watching yourself blow out the cobwebs of the way you thought your life could be. Think about it.
Awesome. Okay. Yay, that is super. Okay, now, the message of the morning. So, on your bulletin, this is the theme for this year, 2014, the year of yes, living what we believe, and we're going to have that last word spell checked by next week. So, this is our poster for the year. And What We Believe essay by our founder, Ernest Holmes, has been divided into 12 statements that we are going to go in depth on for the whole year. And I think it's been pretty interesting so far. We've 2 down and 50 to go, but, it's pretty darn fun for me. So we also have this as the foundation of your book study, your in-home study. So the curriculum this month is about this first statement. So all of you should have one of these at home or here. If this is your first Sunday of the year, you should have received one at the front door. So anybody who has this, read with me, if you would, the first statement. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So our word today is creation, as in this one manifests itself in and through all creation, and the manifest universe is the body of God. So every week I work with the altar team to create an altar that is about the theme of the talk. And this is a Kathy Fowler altar, this beautiful altar. And so I'd like to read to you what Kathy came up with from our meeting together. The predominant colors on the altar are black, silver, and white. The qualities of holiness, orderliness, and changeability are represented as follows. The creation altar, this is holiness, orderliness, and changeability. The black and silver altar cloth represents the universal mind out of which all creation comes. The Buddha is creating peace through meditation. Kuan Yin is dreaming up compassion for us all. They both are symbols of holiness. The girl with the geese represents the creation of humankind. The doves remind us to have peace in our hearts. The orchid and shells demonstrate the orderliness of nature. The frogs and butterflies symbolize changeability. Isn't that fabulous? Well, so let's give the altar and Kathy a little love. So when we think about creation, it actually has a meaning that's kind of verb-like and a meaning that's kind of noun-like. So when we talk about creation, it is the making of everything. And when we talk about the body of creation, everything that is created, that's the thing. The creation is all of that stuff out there that God has made. So all that is created comes from the one. That's why we did that hymn. And I am so amazed at everyone's emotional response to it. It was so, I was in tears looking at you guys, as much as for the music. It was so unbelievably sweet to see you holding your heart or having your hands out in praise, your eyes closed in bliss, and tears coming down your face. It was absolutely wonderful. So, if we think, the title of my talk is Here with My Family. And if we think of two children with the same parents, we would call them family with each other. We would call them kin, because they're related, of course, to the parent. Well, the same is sort of true for all that's created, because the Creator is the infinite presence. God created the trees and the mountains and us and the bunnies and the grass and the birds, and everything came from the one. And so if one of the interpretations, limited, yes, because God is everything and more than that, but is the idea of God the parent. And if God is the creator of everything and everyone, then we are all kin. We are all family. And actually, the earth-based spiritual traditions, that's not symbolism. That is absolutely true. So in Native American spirituality, I want to read you something from the Navajo origin legend. It is lovely indeed, it is lovely indeed. I am the spirit within the earth. The feet of the earth are my feet. The legs of the earth are my legs. The strength of the earth is my strength. The thoughts of the earth are my thoughts. The voice of the earth is my voice. The feather of the earth is my feather. All that belongs to the earth belongs to me. All that surrounds the earth surrounds me. I I am the sacred works of the earth. It is lovely indeed. It is lovely indeed. That speaks of family. That speaks of oneness. The Celtic worldview is another one that is very, very earth-based and very kinship-oriented. So I'm going to read to you from the poet, actually a Druid poet, Amergin, one of the only written documents. We don't know much of anything about the Druids, but this has come down to us through the ages. And the story goes that Amergin was on a boat, and the boat was actually going to Ireland, what became Ireland, and the Celts were on the boat, and the original beings on Ireland were supposedly fairy-like people. They were called the Tuatha De Danann. And there was a skirmish between these two. And actually the Celts won, but they said, you can live here, but you just need to live under the ground. And so that is the origin of the entire fairy faith of Ireland. So as this boat was approaching this beautiful green island, the Druid poet Amergin spoke to the land, not to the fairy folk, but to the land, seducing the land so that they could enter. I am a stag of 7 tines. I am a wide flood on a plain. I am a wind on the deep waters. I am a shining tear of the sun. I am a hawk on the cliff. I am fair among flowers. I am a god who sets the head afire with smoke. I am a battle-waging spear. I am a salmon in the pool. I am a hill of poetry. I am a ruthless boar. I am a threatening noise of the sea. I am a wave of the sea. So this speaks also to kinship. So when we look at our tradition, Science of Mind, the singular idea of creation sort of fills in every single space for me. So when you look at creation is a testimony to oneness, because all creation is one, comes from the one, and creation is a testimony to mastery, because we use God's power of creation. So today, those of you who are thinking about becoming members of this community, part of the orientation are these two concepts, oneness and mastery. And they both come together in this idea of the creation of God. So when we look out at God's creations, like we did when we were singing the song, and because we know that we use the same creative power of God, it might be good for us to look at how we can make our creations more like God's creations. So that's part of what the lesson is today. So we're going to look at the qualities of God's creation. So the first is it's orderly. These are the qualities that Kathy used for the altar. Thomas Troward is one of the people that we quote a lot, and he was an inspiration for Ernest Holmes when he was creating the Science of Mind philosophy. And it was Troward's saying that order is heaven's first law. And what that means is, of course, that the planets, the seasons, the balance of nature is a system, and when it's left to the infinite, it's absolutely, completely harmonious. It is orderly, and as it says in our statement here, it's the logical and necessary outcome. It is absolutely balanced, perfect, whole, and complete. Nothing is at odds with each other. The whole is harmonious. So this begs, of course, what happens when it looks like disorderliness? What happens when it looks like there's a mess? And what I know is that God uses messes to create more order. Meg Wheatley has this to say in one of her books: life uses messes to get to well-ordered solutions. That is so reassuring for me. I can't even tell you. Life doesn't seem to share our desires for efficiency or neatness. It uses redundancy, fuzziness, dense webs of relationships, and unending trials and errors to find out what works. So, when I see something in my life that I think is not going very well, if I remember that within the creation of God, there is only orderliness, what I then can see looking backward in my life is that as messes occurred in the past, if I didn't resist, if I didn't complain, if I didn't say nothing is working, then somehow the Infinite One uses that mess to create a higher level of order in my life. Have any of you ever had that? It actually bears itself out in chemistry and in metaphysics. That when you boil something, it actually, and cooking. Let's say you're making a sauce. You're making what's that? When you make mayonnaise, it's an emulsion. That's it. You're making an emulsion. So you start with egg yolk and oil and some salt, and at first you start stirring it, and it's a mess. And if you just keep whipping it and stirring it, all of a sudden it snaps into this velvety emulsion. That's the best holiday sauce. That's how they do it. They start out with something that doesn't look like it's going to go together, and then it snaps into a new level of order. And what's true with the new level of order is that you can't separate out what was. And when we look at that in relationship to our life, if we simply move forward, having our eye on the quality of the infinite that we want to express, God uses all of these little messes to create a new level of order. In a Christian lesson that I read once, they talked about, maybe you've heard this, that it looked like everything was, the analogy was a wall hanging, that, a stitched wall hanging. And the people were looking at the back of it, and the back of it had all of the knots and the strings and the leftover pieces, and it looked like a mess. But when you walk around and look at the front of it, it was a beautiful tapestry. So all of these analogies are what happens in our own life when it doesn't seem like it's orderly. If you just stick with it, it gets orderly. Honest. The next quality is holiness. So when it says in our quote, the manifest universe is the body of God, what it means is that everything is sacred. And in the hymn that we sang, that first stanza, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, the power throughout the universe displayed. So what I'd like you to imagine is that when you walk out this door and look at anything natural that is growing out of the ground, and you look at the sky and you look at the clouds, those are sacred creations of God. And you are a sacred creation of God. The person sitting beside you is a sacred creation of God. No matter what you've done, no matter where you've been, no matter how unskilled you have been in parts of your life, that does not mar the holiness that is you. Mother Hildegard of Bingen wrote, "The Word is living, being, spirit, all verdant greening, all creativity. This Word manifests itself in every creature." And so the third quality of God's creation is that it's always changing. So this was from our lesson from last week, that the world of form, nothing stays the same. that time and seasons and gravity and wear and tear, in the world of form, this infinite presence manifests itself in things that change. It comes forth, it grows, it changes, it goes away, and then it's reformed, it's transformed, it comes again in a different variation. And in fact, the Hindu religion has a deity that is just for destruction. Shiva is the god of destruction because that is part of the holy changing. So, even destruction can be seen as holy and orderly. Okay. Are you with me on God's creation? Okay, let's look at ours. Using divine qualities in our own creations, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but the orderliness, the holiness, and that problem with changing get to me. Okay? So if we look at these aspects of God's creation, maybe we can work with them to get the creations in our life happier and more comfortable for us, because we'll talk about this more. We talk about this in every single class, by the way. If you meet with a practitioner, they talk about the creative law. But if you're new to this philosophy, or if you need reminding like I do, what is the teaching is that the same way that God brought forth all of these beautiful creations through the law of creation, God said what? The law said yes, and then we have the creation. That's the same thing that happens in our life. We say what? The same law says yes, and then it manifests. You say, I'm lonely. The same law says yes, and that's what you get. I am abundant. Same law says yes, that's your experience. So what our work is in using the creative law, not so much to trick the world into giving us what we want, but to change ourselves to be the person that accepts all that has already been given. So when we look at, and we're going to do this right now, look at the orderliness, the holiness, and the changeability in the way we use the creative law. So, you ready? To replicate the nature of orderliness in our own life, what we ask is a question like this: what wants to happen here? Whenever there is chaos in your life, in my life, there is a path that is for the good of all and the harm of none. There has to be. There is a high path that is for everyone's benefit. This is a visioning question, and visioning is another practice that we use here that is in all the classes. And it's basically when you're in a meditative state to ask a big question like this and to wait for the answer, not think it up on your own. Okay, that's the basic idea behind visioning. And so when you say something like this, what wants to happen here? You get your little self out of the way, because when we're in chaos, I mean, like when your job looks like it's in jeopardy, or when your relationship looks like it's in jeopardy, or your health, or whatever is important to you, what you want is a change, and by golly, you can pretty much say what that change is. But if you ask a question like this, what wants to happen here? Your vision widens, and you see many, many alternatives that could be better than that one little thing that, by golly, you think you want. So, the next one, holiness. The question that you want to ask in order to bring holiness into your life is, what is the highest, most loving vision that I can call forth? So let's say that you're having trouble at work. Do you know that every single job can be a ministry? Every single job. You can be delivering papers. And if you ask that question, what is the highest, most loving vision I can call forth, you could come up with all kinds of things that you are doing to serve those people that you deliver the papers to, that all kinds of good that comes forth from your actions. So every job can be a ministry. Every relationship can be sacred, no matter how angry you are at the other person. If you ask this question, what is the highest, most loving vision I can call forth, what you're going to do is get out of the anger. And every single health issue can be a path to self-love. So when we focus on bringing more sacred, holy energy into the world, then we are guided in ways that we would not be if our choices were selfish. You with me? Okay, change. How can grace and flow be integrated into this change? So, you might kind of think that I don't like change very much, and you'd be right. You know, I get my life just the way I like it, and then, darn, things change. So, as many of you know that have been here over the years, the founder of our center, Lloyd Tupper, has been living in my home for more than 3 years, since he sold his property in Santa Barbara and his offices in Santa Rosa, where I live. So he's been living in my house. He's moving away. He's moving actually to the East Coast. He's moving to Cape Cod. And so that's a really big change for me. And not only is Lloyd moving to Cape Cod, but Reverend Mary Marie Shelton and her partner are moving in. And so that's a big change for me. I mean, so I'm a little stirred right now. You know, I have had to empty out and clean one room and one bathroom, and then, well, just you don't want to know everything. But so of course this question is for me. How can grace and flow be integrated into this change? And when I ask that, then all of a sudden the sacredness, really the sacredness of Lloyd going to the home he created in Cape Cod. I mean, his home has been rented to other people forever. And he created that beautiful home. It is going to nurture him. That's for his highest and greatest good. I know this. And for Mary and Amanda to come and be with me, somehow that's the highest and greatest good. And whatever it is, I can offer the sacredness of my home, which is beautiful and peaceful and loving and enveloping anyone who lives there. And there is an orderliness in this that is perfect, even though, darn it, this looks like one of those messes to me. And so I am in the midst of this, seeing this creation as orderly, holy, and flowing, because this too shall pass. So I want you to know that I apply these lessons to my own life, and darn it, when I set this up, months ahead of time, my life kind of corresponds so that I have stories to tell. So, by our thoughts and words and attitudes, we set the creative law in motion. And there are some things that happen around us that we can call a mess, or we can call holy, orderly, and divine change. That's our choice. And I'm telling you, it feels better on the inside when you say, I call this orderly, holy, and divine change. So if you go home today and you have coffee with somebody that doesn't come to this community, and they say, well, what happened there this morning? this is what you say. This is your takeaway. I co-create my life with God's creative power. That's what you tell them. Then they'll take another sip of coffee and say, what the heck do you mean? And then you can share from your life like I shared from mine. So as I was coming to the conclusion of this talk, I picked a book out of my shelf by John O'Donohue that I thought I might be able to thumb through and find something that would be inspirational for you. And right at the very beginning, tucked in right after the cover of the book was this poem by John O'Donohue. And I think it is so perfect for the new year because we're all about new creations. And this is a poem that's called For a New Beginning. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then, the delight when your courage kindled and you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning. That is one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon, you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Turn with me, if you would, within. And let me just take this opportunity to invite you to that safe place of co-creation, where there is ease in risk, and where in this moment of infinite privilege to think anew in the privacy of your own heart and your own mind, you can try on a different consciousness about some things in your life. And so if you would, pick something that does not seem orderly. It can be a basement, it can be a relationship, it can be a habit, something that feels in disharmony. And then imagine that right at the center of that thing in your life, there is a holy pattern that begins to emerge. It moves out from the center of this little snarl in your life, or big snarl. It is an orderly pattern that radiates from the center, and you can feel it. Pick something in your life that does not seem holy. It feels painful or confusing. Hold that in your awareness, and then imagine at first, and then really see that there is a brilliant light at the center of this confusion, a holy light that starts radiating out from the center, bringing holiness with it. And finally, imagine something in your life or remember something that feels stagnant. It just feels like it hasn't moved in a long time and you've tried. And then, as you look, just like a little breeze, there are ripples on the surface of that which was stagnant. And little bubbles start to rise. And the whole system looks like it's boiling and changing into a new level of order. This is the naturalness of our life in God. Moving to order, moving into the sacred, and being at ease with change. This is what creation is about. Blessed be. That sentiment, and I'm going to use it actually in the offering. Would the ushers please come forward? So let life do you. So what's happening in life out there in the northern hemisphere of this planet is that spring is readying, and there is this givingness of spring. That's life doing it. So what about if that same energy, where right now, I know everybody has how much they plan to give all set, but what if life in you is saying, give more? And then it felt really great and really safe and really exciting and really loving, and you could kind of say, yeah, either I'm going to fish in my wallet and get some more, or I'm going to write a bigger check next week because life doing me says more, and I feel like I can do that. Just try it on. And whatever you're giving today, hold next to your heart. And don't miss an opportunity to enthusiastically give. Please do this activity that we're doing now with such joy that you have it and you have it to give, and that this community is going to benefit by it, and that God is glorified right here, right now, in the giving through each one of us. We bless the gifts and the givers, and so it is. Would the ushers please receive the gifts? Here with my family, heaven is in my heart. Think of the love I am. We are never apart. One mind, one heart, one life we live. One mind, one heart, one life we live. Here with my family, heaven is in my heart. I sing of the love I am. No, we're never apart. One mind, one heart, one life we live. One mind, one heart, one life we live. I give thanks for these gifts and the dear hearts that gave them. Blessed be. So we're almost ready to start the shopping and the signing up. So remember, over here you can buy your tickets to Making Heaven on Earth, and the classes are still open. There's information on trips that you can take this summer. And please come back next week. Reverend Barbara Leger and I will be here. So would the practitioners come forward, and Posi's going to pray us out.
Would the rest of the practitioners please surround the room? And I invite you, if you choose, to close your eyes and go within. And take this moment to sense that indwelling presence, the I am, that which I choose to call God, that is that which creates and all of creation. Unconditional love and immutable law, creating out of itself into itself. And I am one of those magnificent creations, as is each one within the sound of my voice and beyond. Each one of us is a miracle, is a unique, individualized expression of God consciousness. And all that God is present in and available to each one. So right here, right now, I claim and accept for each one of us that opening that allows us to experience that magnificent beingness that each one of us is, to bring forth that which we came here to bring forth, to be the life of God expressing so magnificently, fully, gloriously, joyously, lovingly, abundantly, prosperously, co-creating with the divine, directing our lives consciously, and then giving thanks for the activity of God flowing through, expressing, abundantly creating all the good that we can possibly imagine. So with an overflowing heart filled with gratitude, I release this word to the activity of the law, knowing it knows what to do, how to do it, and is already rearranging the universe as this word. So I let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Would you all please stand for the affirmation and closing song? Right up here with me. The universe is the body of God, and therefore I am a creation of God. I share in God's creative power and use that power to bring forth my work and my blessings. I am one with God and masterful in life.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. And I know the joy of peace. And I choose fear to release every moment.